Hello everyone, my name's Formula. Today we're doing a breakdown of my track Warrior. Kind of just going to go through little bits and bobs of it, how I made it, what I used, this, that and the other. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I haven't done a video in a really long time, so I do apologise if I'm rusty. If you haven't already checked out the whole EP, go check it out. This is what it sounds like.
Rush me like warrior. Me tell them gal ya come round ya. Gal a rub down me chest love me persona. The gal just a give me a boner. Click click, she a take picture. She love the selfie with the rasta. Me a be tell her no put it on Twitter. Worst of all, not on Insta. Man a boom flip on the rhythm now. Man a ramp, man a skin, man a glow. Round at the back, them a lick shot. When you hear it, boom, 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 feel the vibes, yeah.
So yeah, that's the tune. Probably know it already if you're watching the video. If you don't, that's what it sounds like. So yeah, let's just dive straight into it. It's got 28 tracks in total. Nothing really on the master. This is all purely used for whilst I'm making the track and the final parts of it. So we'll dive into the drums first. The drums sound like this. Then you've got the breakdown slash build up. And then the drop. So the first thing about this track is you've got effectively three main components of the drums: the intro, or four even, the intro, the breakdown slash build up, first half of the drop, and the second half of the drop. Certain different producers can do different things, so you'll have a different element to the drums come in every 16 or every 32. So that's a key thing to think about when you're making tunes, is making things progress and get more interesting. So we'll go through these drums. They're all sort of samples from all over the shop. So we've got the kick here, and you've got a snare, second snare, and then I think a third one. Yeah, a third snare, which is in a break loop from a By the Producer pack for the Pick and Mix record label pack. Really good pack. Go check it out if you haven't. And then a fourth, I think we're on number 4 now. A fourth loop there, sort of packing a little bit more of a punch. The important thing about layering drums is, I don't know whether I've actually done it. I haven't, which is really bad. But what I should be doing is EQing all of these snares to sort of blend in together to make one nice clean sound. Don't know why I didn't do it, but I just didn't. I might have just forgotten to do it, but it got released like that. So yeah. So that's a key thing to think about, is if you want a particular snare sound, then layering your snares is the way to do it. So all together it sounds like this. So you've got the hats here that are just providing a simple like roll. And then underneath that you've got this loop, which is just repeating itself, no full phrase, and then the third loop, which is doing a longer phrase, and then all together it sounds. So you've got that aspect, pretty simple. Onto the vocal. This is from a Ragga Twins sample pack from Loop Masters, I think.
Gal want rush me like warrior.
So there's a vocal rack on it here, which I've been using in every single track I've ever made up until today, I think, with all sorts of stuff on it. So if you want to take a time to pause and screenshot this, you can use all of this stuff here. Each of these elements are all mapped together. So you've got the delay here, reverb, and the dry vocal, which is this one here, and then a simple little side chain just to duck the vocal out a little bit. Without the vocals, without the processing, sorry, it sounds like this.
Girl want rush me like warrior. Me tell them girl ya come round ya.
And then with it, it sounds like this.
Girl want rush me like warrior.
Just adds a bit more crisp and clean aspects. It EQs it, and then you can go in there and change it depending on the vocal. Tidy it up if there's too much high end. So yeah, that's the vocal. And then we're on to the basses. So we'll go through them one by one very briefly. You've got the 808 stab, which is one of the more prominent things that I like to use in my tunes. Instead of using a normal sub, is using an 808. So without the processing, it sounds like this. All the processing is really doing is adding a bit more beef to it. It's taking out a little bit at the low end, and then I think adding somewhere in here there is another EQ that's boosting it back up again. Kind of pointless, but there's that. A little bit of tape drive, and then a side chain for use, which was not used. Don't know why, but I think it may be on the main. Yeah, it's on the main group. So that's the 808. We'll open the patch up. It's a very simple patch. Here we are. Just the sub, bit of distortion, and the matrix. That is where you want to be utilizing all of this here. You can screenshot that if you want to. So you've got an envelope controlling the release of it, which is envelope 1, and envelope 2 is controlling the punchiness of the 808. So if I drag this all the way up, so there's that. And then you're just using this filter here to gauge how open the 808 sound is. And then finally just a little bit of noise, which is completely up to the producer to do whatever they want. I just like it because it makes the tunes a bit grittier. Then we've got the jungle bass, which has got the same processing on it as the 808. This is a super simple patch here. Literally it's just 2 sine waves, one with the fine tune all the way down and one with the fine tune all the way up, and then just an envelope controlling the release of the whole sound. Inside the patch you've got some distortion, compressor, EQ, which is just boosting some of the mids and high and lows, and then a filter here. It's just controlling really the sound of the distortion, because you don't want too much distortion coming out for your sub, otherwise it just sounds a bit naff. Then we have the first hit bass, which is utilizing Camel Crusher. So without Camel Crusher, it's just not as happy. Now it's big and proud. A little EQ3 to take out some of the low end, and this is the patch. So you can just take a look at all that, because it's meant to be a short video, but on its own it sounds like this. Pretty cool sound. And I think that's it for the basses, of what I'm willing to show anyway. And then finally the intro. So the intro was created in Massive. I think I actually just used a stock Massive preset, which sounded like this. I have absolutely no idea with this, but it is a stock plugin. It's a stock preset in Massive, so you can find that there. And all I've done is created 2 tension sort of string notes by playing 2 notes next to each other. and then finally just a little break and some effects. And that's it. That is Warrior. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out Producer Bible and also check me out. I've got loads of new music on the way, and I will be doing more YouTube videos very soon that are a bit more in depth and full and sort of straight to the point. Obviously I can't give away everything of what I'm doing with all of my tunes, but this was just a brief overview of how I made Warrior. Thank you very much. Peace and love. Bye bye.